right now by a linebacker for the Packers. He is a Super Bowl champ. He is a Pro Bowl selection. He had 5 tackles in last night's win over Minnesota. 5th overall pick back in the 06 draft. We're joined right now by A.J. Hawk. A.J., nice to have you back. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you, A.J. Thanks. Let me get your thoughts first on Minnesota. I understand they're struggling right now, but that dome is never an easy place to play. I would imagine there's kind of that effect of throwing the records out when these two teams get together, and especially at night. What's it like to go into that place and play at night?
Oh, it's crazy. I was telling the media after the game last night. We kind of had to. It seems like we always have to go up there and kind of weather the storm early. They take the opening kickoff back, to the house, and that place was rocking. I mean, it's loud on a normal game, and you're right, prime time Sunday night, and they were primed and ready, and they took their first one back in that place. You couldn't hear a thing. That whole building was shaking. So we kind of had to weather that, I think, and luckily our offense kept the ball the whole game and was driving all night, so it made our job as a defense a lot easier.
Yeah, it's interesting. Talk about weathering that thing. I mean, certainly you've been through worse, you've been through adversity. What are the types of things that you tell each other when something like that happens? And, frankly, they've probably been fueling up all day long. It's at night. They want that game badly. So when they take it back to the house, what then do you tell each other?
Honestly, our defense, we just kind of sat there and realized that we'll be all right. You can never panic in this game. That's the thing. We knew there was still a ton of football to be played, and we weren't going to sit there and overreact. We knew our offense was going to come back out and score and even that thing up, make it 7-7, and so it's like like nothing happened, like it didn't even take that first one back. So we just know you can't panic, and don't try to not kind of let the mistakes compound and keep going. If 7-0 you can come back from. If you start out 14-0 quick, that's a little tougher to come back from. So that first drive as a defense, we wanted to make sure we got off the field.
Packers linebacker A.J. Hawk, my guest. When you say you just don't panic, that sounds like somebody who's been through this before. And when you look at it, A.J., you're in your 8th year there. Only one player, Aaron Rodgers, has been there longer than you. What's that mean to you?
Well, I'm very fortunate, very lucky to still be here. Believe me, I love this place. When you introduced me, you said the 06 draft, I was thinking, man, that's a long time ago, isn't it? It feels like forever ago. But, it's something that I definitely don't take for granted. I mean, I always dreamed and hoped I'd be able to play in the NFL and to be in my 8th season and feel like I'm getting better as a player, too. I'm very lucky, and I love it in Green Bay. I mean, this is all I know is the Green Bay way and such a great organization, how well they are and how much we win. So I'm very spoiled. So I'm just trying to hang on as long as I can and stay here and have a good time.
A.J., lay that out for me, the Green Bay way. We always hear about, for instance, the Patriot way. What's the Green Bay way? What's that mean to you? And what would it, if you had to describe it, what would it be?
Man, I would say they treat us like pros, first of all. And I think when you see teams that are having trouble, if guys are coming out publicly against, whether it be the coaches or the front office or whatever, they always have an issue when they say they're not being treated like a pro. And the first thing they do here is they don't sit here and micromanage us. They don't tell us what to say to the media. They don't try to, guide us. They give us little talking points here and there, but they let us be men, and they treat you like men. And I think guys will act like pros when that's the case. And we want to come out and practice every single day. We're not trying to take days off. We're not trying to do anything. We know that consistency and hard work is what we do. And I think from the top down in Green Bay, they see that and they bring in high character guys that kind of have those traits. So it's something where I know is very special. I know that's not the case everywhere around the league. So like I said, I'm very lucky.
A.J. Hawk, it's amazing. A.J. goes way back. I mean, long before you got there, before Reggie White was there, but it seemed like that was the place where guys didn't want to go. It's amazing how the culture of that thing has changed so dramatically over time. When you also mentioned guys don't take days off, I'm looking at your career. You're 8 years in. You've been a starter now for 7 years. You have missed just 2 games, which means obviously you're going to go out there and you're going to play through a lot of pain. I know you're a guy that doesn't want to talk about injuries, but at least talk about the approach. Has it always been like that, and where does it come from? I mean, what puts you out there when you know maybe deep down you shouldn't be out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just kind of how everyone's brought up differently a little bit. I guess I'd say I'm the youngest of 3 boys, so I honestly grew up just getting blasted by my 2 older brothers. They just knocking me out all over the place. So I was always chasing them, trying to be tough like them. My first goal was obviously trying to get on that varsity football team so I could play with my middle brother, Ryan. I got to play 2 years with him. I was lucky enough for that. And then I think it's just kind of the coaching staffs I've had. I've had such good coaches throughout my career, high school, college, and now in the NFL. They've just been great and taught me a lot. And I think the older I get too in the league, the smarter I get with how I work out. I still am very consistent in the weight room and what I do. And finally, I think buying into some of the things that I used to think were kind of soft, like massage, acupuncture, stretching, things like that. I'm finally buying into it. I'm seeing some results, and I feel good. I feel as good as I've ever felt, honestly. I know guys will lie and say that, but I really do it. At 29 right now, I feel better than I did when I was 22, probably.
So you changed up. You've done some things differently, like acupuncture. Guys rave about acupuncture. I've never done it. What is it about that? Can you explain how it works and why it works?
I wish I could explain. I wish I could get into full detail about exactly how it does, but it's something. I know a lot of the science guys and a lot of doctors will blow it off because there's not maybe a whole lot of science to back all of it up, but it's thousands and thousands of years old. And I don't get. I know a lot of guys saw what James Harrison had, like 3,000 needles in him. I'm not doing that. I'm just kind of taking care of my knees and ankles and everything. But they got a guy here in Green Bay named Dr. Ho that just. He's from China. He's just a great guy, and he'll take care of me. And supposed to, increase blood flow to certain areas and just kind of keep your inflammation down and keep you feeling good. And I've been consistent with it this last 2 years, and I feel really good.
Let me ask something before you go. Before the season, the team came to you and they asked you to take a pay cut, and you agreed to do so. I think a lot of guys would fight that because of what it would mean to their bottom line, maybe even to their pride, but you didn't complain. How come?
I honestly had a lot of respect for how they came to me with it. I kind of had a feeling that something was going to happen either way, whether they want me out of here, they want me to take a bit of a cut, and I understood that, and I'm fine with the business side of the game. But they, like I said, how they treat us, such kind of guys, and how they came to me and let me know that they really wanted me to be a Packer, and they wanted to let me know that this. They didn't want me out of here or anything. That's just kind of part of the business of how it works. And I'm not stupid either. I don't want to be an old guy with a high cap number. That's a recipe for disaster. I want to stay on a great team and organization like this. And when you think about it, it's going forward with a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers and the team we have. I'm here to win Super Bowls. Anything else is just secondary. So whether that's money or whatever, I'm very fine with taking a little bit of a cut, and I'm still having a great time.
A.J. Hawk, 8 years in, Green Bay Packers linebacker, Super Bowl champ, Pro Bowl selection, and getting it done still. A.J., good visit. Good to have you back. Thanks so much for doing that.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me.
It's good talking to you, A.J. Thank you. Well done.